Welcome back, and in our business news, Etihad Airways is expected to make its final decision this week on whether it will invest in Indian Airlines, Jet Airways or Kingfisher Airlines. According to a local report, an Indian official was quoted as saying that a decision will be made before Christmas. Reports suggest that Jet Airways is offering a 24% stake, while rival Kingfisher is looking at a 48% offering. This comes off the back of India allowing foreign carriers to buy stakes of up to 49% into its domestic airlines since last September. Reuters also reported that shares of Jet Airways jumped 4.7% today to their highest levels in 2 years, off the back of hopes of the Etihad investment. And Tourism Australia and Etihad Airways have signed a memorandum of understanding to bring more visitors from the Middle East and Europe to Australia. Under the agreement, both parties will invest up to $6 million Australian dollars over the next 3 years through a number of initiatives. The UAE Central Bank has passed its 2013 budget. That sees total revenues of 3,886 million dirhams, total expenses of 886 million, and an estimated net profit of 3,000 million dirhams. The board discussed limits of placements, dealing in foreign currencies, and other engagements with banks in order to ensure better returns on the central bank's foreign currency reserves and to minimise risks. The report showed the overall prudential ratios of the banking system, financial stability, central bank data and liquidity, which confirmed that banking indicators are positive and that banks are in a good position and are also insulated from the current turmoil in financial markets. The Commercial Compliance and Consumer Protection sector in Dubai's Department of Economic Development has launched a new Consumer Friendliness Index. The index looks to promote service excellence, competitiveness and consumer rights and focuses on the three main business segments: automotive, electronics and hypermarkets. All three combined make up 60% of consumer spending in the Emirate. The index includes 24 outlets and gathers data from 1,700 consumers in Dubai and measures three main criteria: customer satisfaction, complaints, and price evaluation. Out of the top 10 car dealers, Juma Al Majid Automobiles took the top spot in both the overall rating and the automobiles category, while Lulu Hypermarkets topped both the hypermarkets and the electronics categories. And let's now take a quick look at the stock indices across the GCC. And looking to other business news, last week the FOMC announced an unprecedented rounding of additional easing for the US economy, adding an additional $45 billion in asset purchases, in addition to the existing $40 billion being purchased in mortgage-backed securities. Such easing measures tend to weaken the currency, and the US dollar lost ground against its major counterparts. Well, we earlier spoke to Gaurav Kashyap, the head of the DGCX trading desk at Al Pari Middle East, to get his views for the rest of 2012.
The FOMC's announcement on Wednesday had a peculiarly interesting effect on the US dollar's performance. Now, we did see the FOMC announce an additional $45 billion worth of asset purchases. This is obviously an extension to the $40 billion that they're currently buying in mortgage-backed securities. So what this means is additional liquidity for the US market. So technically, we should see the US dollar weaken. And we did see that to be the case against higher yielding assets such as the euro and the British pound. However, if you look at the performance of the US dollar against gold, gold actually weakened in trading and now is meandering between the 1685 to 1690 key support levels. What this shows us is that a lot of the pricing action from the FOMC and the expectations were already priced in. So what we're going to take from that is that we're expecting the US dollar to close out 2012 on a very positive note. And this is because of the ongoing fiscal cliff negotiations. We don't expect to see anything until the 11th hour coming out of there. Earlier in the morning, we saw Speaker of the House, John Boehner's proposal shot down by the Democrats. Once again, this type of volatility and will keep the risk off trade in favor of the US dollar in the week ahead. Also, what we're watching for is the performance of the Japanese yen. Earlier in the morning, we saw the LDP party led by Shinzo Abe sweep the polls in Japan. Of course, Shinzo Abe is a very, very keen component of aggressive monetary easing, which would naturally have a weakening effect on the yen. Also, we're going to keep our eye out for the INR, the Indian rupee, in the week ahead. Earlier in the morning, the Indian government actually downgraded growth forecast to 5.7%. This is down from a previous reading of 7.6%, and this will precede the RBI's meetings tomorrow, where they're expected to announce some kind of easing measures for the Indian economy. But overall, we like the prospects for the US dollar going into 2013.